If they look out of their windows, Fawzia Al-Kurd and Berna Sigal share the same view from the same house across the rooftops of East Jerusalem. But that's where their shared vision ends. Al-Kurd, who's a 54-year-old Palestinian mother of 5, has lived in this house for 35 years. The house sits halfway up a hill in one of the oldest neighborhoods of Arab East Jerusalem. It's a large home and has been in her family since 1952. For decades, including the years that followed the 1967 Middle East War, when Israeli forces seized the West Bank, Al-Kurd and her family lived in the house without particular problems.
This isn't a new building, it's an old building. This was made of cement blocks and the other building was built in 1952. Water used to go through the ceiling, so we redid the ceiling and fitted the building with new stones. So it's not a new building, it's just been renovated.
Then in 1998 she renovated the house to create a separate unit for her son. She and her husband would live on one side, and her son and his family would have a 2-bedroom home on the other. But a few months after the renovation, Al-Kurd's son was expelled from the house and replaced by a family of Jewish settlers.
My husband is in the hospital and the Jews have occupied my house. Nobody cares, but alhamdulillah, I've been patient. They've changed the settler families several times. Every year there's been a different family. Every family behaves differently, but they all have the same objective. I've lived with them for 7 years. 4 different families with the same objective, using different methods. For example, some of them were calm, others aggressive. This is normal. Every day he drops by about 6 or 7 times.
7 years on, Al-Kurd shares her home with the Sigals, a family with 2 children and a third on the way. The Sigals consider it their right to live in the house, because in their eyes it's Jewish land. Since 1967, when Israel occupied East Jerusalem following the war, the Jewish population in the traditionally Arab area has grown rapidly, with wealthy Jewish organizations buying up properties and moving settlers in. There are now an estimated 200,000 Jews living in East Jerusalem, alongside about 250,000 Palestinians. An Israeli flag flies above the Sigal side of the house, as they do from all the other Jewish-occupied homes in the neighborhood. There are 7 Jewish families living with Palestinians in Al-Kurd's small neighborhood. They're protected 24 hours a day by 2 armed Israeli guards, paid for by the organization that helped organize their move. But Al-Kurd still hopes that her lawyers will get the settlers evicted eventually.